Hello everyone. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss a sonnet by Edmund Spenser, Men Call You Fair. And this is the sonnet number 79 in the collection of sonnets entitled Amoretti. This collection came out in 1595 and it is about the sonnets which the poet composed while he was wooing Elizabeth Boyle. So, most of these sonnets deal with the theme of love. Now, just to give you an introduction of what a sonnet is, it is a poem of 14 lines, and a sonnet can be of two types. A sonnet can be an Italian sonnet or it can be an English sonnet. The Italian sonnet is of 14 lines, which is distributed in two stanzas, one of 8 lines and the other of 6 lines. The first is the octave and the second one is the sestet. This was a sonnet form which was made famous by the likes of Petrarch of Italy. Then the English sonnet is again of two types. It can be a Spenserian sonnet and it can be a Shakespearean sonnet. Now, both the Spenserian sonnet and the Shakespearean sonnets have 14 lines and the distribution is 3 stanzas of 4 lines each, followed by a concluding couplet. So there is very little difference as far as the structure is concerned between a Spenserian sonnet and a Shakespearean sonnet. However, the basic difference between these two forms is the rhyme scheme. While the Spenserian sonnet contains the rhyme scheme of AB AB, BC BC, CD CD, EE. The Shakespearean sonnet contains the rhyme scheme as AB AB, CD CD, EF EF, GG. So, as we can see, there are run on rhymes in a Spenserian sonnet when one rhyme runs on to the second stanza. There is no run on rhymes in a Shakespearean sonnet. Now, coming back to this sonnet, Amoretti, sonnet number 79, Men Call You Fair. We go through the text now. The poet says, Men call you fair, and you do credit it, for that yourself ye daily such do see. But the true fair, that is the gentle wit and virtuous mind, is much more praised of me. So these are the first 4 lines, the first stanza of the Spenserian sonnet. The poet is addressing these lines to a beloved who in all probability is Elizabeth Boyle, and the poet is talking about the beauty, the fairness of the beloved. When he says, Men call you fair, and you do credit it, for that yourself ye daily such do see, the poet tries to say that It is natural for the beloved to get impressed by the compliment she gets from men who call her fair and beautiful. Here, being fair is almost synonymous with beauty. So, in modern criticism, this may come under the scanner because fairness is no longer considered the guarantee of beauty. However, in those days and in Europe, fairness was regarded as beauty, and here the poet tries to say that the beloved is justified in believing all the men who call her fair because she sees herself as fair and beautiful. But the true fair, that is the gentle wit and virtuous mind, is much more praised of me. Here, the poet brings in a contrasting view. He says that the true fair, that is the true beauty, is the gentle wit and virtuous mind, and that is something which he praises more in her. So the poet is not so much impressed by the physical beauty of the beloved as he is impressed by her wit and intelligence. So the first stanza itself lays down the concept of a love which is not based on physical beauty. The carnal aspect is not the primary focus of the poet. So we can say that this poem is carrying a view of Platonic love. Now we come to the next stanza. For all the rest, however fair it be, shall turn to naught and lose that glorious hue, but only that is permanent and free from frail corruption that doth flesh ensue. So this is the second stanza of 4 lines. Now the poet is telling that everything that is physically beautiful, however fair it may be, it shall turn to naught. That means it will come to nothing and lose that glorious hue, and all the beautiful color, all the good complexion will fade away. But only that is permanent and free from frail corruption that doth flesh ensue. So the poet is telling that everything that is physically beautiful will fade away with time, because flesh is subject to corruption of time. A passing time will lead to withering away of beauty. So, if anyone's concept of beauty is only skin deep, then that love will never be permanent, because beauty is not skin deep only. Now we come to the third stanza. That is true beauty that doth argue you to be divine and born of heavenly seed, derived from that fair spirit from whom all true and perfect beauty did at first proceed. So here the poet associates beauty with spirituality. He says that true beauty is divine beauty. and it is born of heavenly seed. That means true beauty contains almost a divine character, derived from that fair spirit from whom all true and perfect beauty did at first proceed. So, here the poet is alluding to God, that fair spirit. And here, the fair spirit does not only mean beautiful spirit, but also a just spirit, from whom all true and perfect beauty did at first proceed. So, poet's concept of God is not only about a beautiful figure but also a just figure. And now the concluding couplet. He only fair, and what he fair hath made, all other fair like flowers untimely fade. So here the poet says that God himself is the only fair and only beautiful and the only just power. And what he has made fair is only fair. So anything that contains the message of God, that follows the way shown by God, any person who has devotion for God is fair, and all other fair indicates physical beauty and other concepts associated with beauty, like flowers untimely fade. So the poet says that everything else which has not to do anything with the beauty of the soul, the beauty of spirituality, the beauty and love for God will fade away untimely. And this is how the poem concludes.